Good morning, everybody. I'm very glad being here today, especially after Nihar gave us some very exciting insights in the principles of what is data streaming world about, and about events, about streaming, about speed. So we called my speech fast cars in the streaming world. I guess everybody knows that we are building very fast cars, very cool cars, and pretty nice ones, others also. But what we are doing in the streaming world. So I would like to give you insights on the business side about the streaming world and about how could we earn money out of it. Because that's we are all here. We want to earn money and we want to use our data for earning money and for giving our enterprises the chance to go ahead and to give the customers more experience about that. So I'll give you then the data-driven world. What is it? We're talking a lot about it. Give you some examples about having the chance to earn money. And then what is the answer of Audi on that? How do we do that? How do we collect the data? Of course, what kind of platform do we use? We are on a Kafka summit here. Yes, Nihar told you about, of course, we're using Kafka for that. And then what is the vision, where we want to go in the future and give the customers exciting experiences? Yeah? No, it's going on. So, the data-driven world, I guess, you know Amazon, of course, and Amazon is doing very well in the data-driven world. It's already using every single data you produce, and they manage it to use this data for increasing the revenue, about roughly 30% annually increase of revenue. That's tremendous, that's amazing. And they are doing it not only because of personalization, but using this personalized data. So use it to give your offers, what you're buying, what they recommend to exactly what you need, and of course, then you're going to buy it, and so they make money out of it, and they use the data-driven world in the streaming world extremely successful. A second example, Nihar also mentioned it on a technical way, how much data they use, and they use also the Kafka streaming platform. They use it to find out what we want to see. They use their mentioned here 600 billion data objects a day, and they knew before they even produced the House of Cards that it will be a hit, because they knew that we want to see political dramas, political scenes, and we want to see Kevin Spacey steering one of those things. So that's what they are doing with this, a lot of data, and they're also very successful in that. We as Audi, we are also part of this data-driven world already. Maybe you don't know, but we already have, we call it Jack. It's an autonomous driving vehicle. Jack is able to, as it says, driving autonomously. And of course, it's still a prototype, but it has the heart of what will be in the future. And Jack is also possible to things like driving a traffic jam or driving with 60 miles per hour, giving you the chance to not to have to conduct your car, but being able to do other things. And Jack is producing lots of data. If you have let's say, an average use of a couple of hours a day, you get about 4 terabytes of data of one single car. And imagine we produce only with Audi around 2 million cars per year. In the Volkswagen Group, it's 10 million cars. So we have really to think about how do we use this data, and the data is already here. So what we think, data is in a data-driven world, it's not only the oil. Often mentioned the oil. Of course it's the oil, because this gives you some more flow, some more stream in your daily business. But for me, it's much more the new DNA. Because the DNA gives you the ability to involve your business and to make insights out of the data. Nihar mentioned, and Jack yesterday also, Jay, that it's not the data itself. You have to get to events. You have to know what is within the data. You have to know what is the insights out of it. And then you are much more in a DNA world, but only in a raw oil world. And I guess that's what we also believe. Vorsprung durch Technik, our claim, we need data for doing that. We believe that data engineering, and that's what this meant is, that data engineering is giving us the next wave of Vorsprung durch Technik. We have to know from the right person, the right device in the right place, in the right moment, what does this person need, what does it want to have now, and how could we make the experience much better in that specific moment. And for that, of course, we have to do in the fast data streaming architecture, and that's why we're here, and that's why we want to give you much insights in how do we do it. So we call it the Audi data collector world. It exists of different, come on. No, it's going on. It exists of different parts of a whole system. You saw we have 4 terabytes data for one single car. Of course, it's not possible to transmit all the data. It makes no sense. It's too expensive. We wouldn't never make money out of it. And of course, it's a lot of data which has no use. It's just there. And I don't want to see every millisecond the actual velocity of a single car. Yes, it's there, but I don't need it, usually. So we thought about building up an intelligent Audi data collector. That means we want to get the data we actually need. And the actual need could be in 2 ways. It could be, let's say, a human need. We call it a campaign manager. Campaign is not a marketing campaign, it's a data campaign. To see why we could have some developers in our company that say, I would like to know how my brake system is used in South Africa or in South America, or I want to know what is the behavior of the drivers around Munich or around London. So we can set up a campaign for giving us this data, the cars that are actually driving around in London, to see what is the actual behavior with that, not on a personalized thing, but on the car level. And then this car, they will ask our central, we call it MBB, it's Modular Backend Baukasten. Everybody knows in German here, I hope. So it's a toolkit for managing all this information, for authorizing the cars and telling the single car, hey, for you, there's a new campaign. Please collect from now on, when you are in this area, exactly this data like engine behavior, like brakes behavior, whatever, or even like what is the actual behavior around you, weather conditions, wind conditions, road conditions, a lot of things we can get out of the inside of our cars with the ECUs, or even with our sensoric, Nihal showed us already, to see what is around the single car. And this is then sent to our, we call it now AC/DC, so it's not a band, so they will not come on stage. It's only a platform. That is the center and that's the heart of the whole system, where we stream and where we analyze these issues, come on to that later, and then we produce the insights out of it. And the insights, again, could go back in a big loop on an automatic way to say, okay, I have thought with the insights could set up not only a human-driven campaign, it could also be an automatic-driven campaign. When we recognize, oh yeah, I have enough information about the weather conditions in London South now, please stop it to all of them. So we can really set up an automatic loop that we really have the intelligence that we really get the data in that moment when we need it, to make it possible for us to make money out of it, of course. Yes, the example for an automatic approach could be, yes, when you're in an unknown city, of course, you always have the same problem where to find a parking lot, a vacant parking lot, of course, not only somewhere in the map you see there's a parking house or on-street parking. Yes, you want to have it where you are, so when you are very close to your final destination, the car will send a request to the backend to say, okay, give me the actual vacant parking lots in that area I want to be. And then the whole machine will start and could start and send out these different campaigns and different data collection requests to the cars that are in the right area in that moment. Say you're collecting it via sensoric, and also we could also include some third-party information about that, like we have it on a here map, for instance. And then we can put it together and send it back to that single car that requested the information. And of course, we could also broadcast the information to other cars and around. But that's what we meant. We need it in that moment when the information is needed and requested. And that leads us to a let's say, central insight. Life is not a batch mode. Definitely not. Life is never ever batch mode. You said, Nihar, it's a stream of events. Yes, it's a stream of events, but it's streaming. It's always changing. So everything is changing all the time, and that's what we need. Then we need real-time approaches and to be able to react in real time. Let's look under the heart of this whole system, under the platform, where we'll be able to get this real-time approach in it. Well, the Automotive Cloud Data Collector, that's the name of this ACDC, so it's not Audi alone. Liha mentioned it's also for the whole Volkswagen group. That's why the R is, of course, for automotive. So we're building up the standardized and the reactive platform. This will be very scalable while we are working and reacting, of course, worldwide. So it's not only for one single country. We would need to have that on a global scale. And of course, we have to set up the scaling velocity according to how many cars are using the approach. I don't know how you have your insights, how the car manufacturing is working. So we usually have development cycles of around 5 years for a single car or for a single model. And of course, then we bring up new models every year into the market, different models. And so we have a kind of a ramp-up phase so that we have to be able to ramp up also in the number or volume of cars, and of course in regions and in countries. So we have to do that on a two-side scale up, and for that we need some technologies that is in parallel able to scale up. Otherwise, it would be, of course, again too expensive to be in advance to say, okay, I have to build up the platform for 10 million cars a year, but I use it only in 5 years. I only have these 10 million cars. In these 5 years, it would be expensive. Nobody will give me the permission to do that. So that's why we need this scalability and, of course, availability. Imagine you are requesting the parking lot and we say, oh, no, we have a downside on the server, so I can't give you that information. I don't think you're very glad about that. So, of course, we need the high availability and, of course, performance. Well, that's quite obvious that we need that. And what we're doing in this platform, we are gathering all the data the car is producing within and around the car. So what are the kind of features of that? Real-time analysis. Another example for real-time analysis, we can identify black eyes on the street and to see, and then this information over this ACDC platform to all the third parties that have subscribed it. So, and subscription means you get it when you need it. And then you can answer it and you can broadcast it again to all the fleet that is around that specific area. So that means real-time analysis. Again, real-time, it's not a batch thing. We need it real-time. The other issue is what we're doing with that, generating business out of it, using it as a swarm intelligence, we call it. Swarm intelligence means that the cars itself, they are collecting information about the actual surrounding, about what are the lanes marking the roads. Maybe they changed from yesterday, maybe had some street working ahead, so we have to change the lane. Maybe we have new streets or new roads already. We think it's happening all the time. Well, the map producers, here, Google, they are sending these cars around the world and to measure up and to collect the actual data. Our cars, we do that for them in the future. As we're able with our sensoric to know exactly what is on the street now. And we need it, and that's much more also for giving us actual and accurate information for our autonomous driving cars, because those cars have to know about what is on the street, what is around the corner, because they only have on their some sensoric about their, they don't see what is behind the corner, they don't see what is behind the hill. So they have to react, of course, when they're driving with 60, 80, 100 miles, not miles, kilometers per hour around. So it's necessary to know what's behind that, because of course these are machines and they have to know as much information as is possible. And we're trying to gather it. And of course, giving all the information also back to you as a customer. We have, for example, the green waves with changing speed limits all the time. So this is information we have again in real time, and we are able to gather it with all our cars that are outside and those cars, and this information, putting them into events again, and of course, being intelligent enough to send only this information when we need it, and then put it together and send it back via here, for instance, and together with other OEMs, back to the cars that are in the right area, and also building up a very accurate, we call it reality index, that we know exactly what is around you as a car in that specific moment. What we also will have, and that will be one of the first use cases, will be on the market. Imagine you have an electric car, of course. The electric car needs battery power, needs charging stations, and you have some longer journey around. You have to recharge again, and to say, okay, combining also information like where you want to go, what is the final destination, what is your actual route, what is your actual car, how much consumption do you have. That is depending on your behavioring, of course, but also on the weather conditions. If it's cold, if it's warm, maybe you're on a hilly road, then you need, of course, more consumption of power when you go on very straight roads. So all this information we can combine, and we need that also in a very actual way, and because it could change. Imagine you are somewhere in the Alps, and then you decide, I don't want to go the usual way. My Navi suggested to me just, I want to step over a hill because, well, it's fun, whatever, I would like to do that. So then you have to be able to see, okay, is it possible? Recalculate the route that you will be able to go to your final destination. Do we have charging stations there? Where do we recharge? How long time does it mean? And is it free? Is it available? And of course, things like reservation, like booking, like payment, all this could be done in that real-time events. So this can be things, of course, there's a kind of a predictive intelligence to give you the prediction what will be happening in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. And then we are able to combine also the information and give it back to you as a user of the car. So I talked a lot about the platform. So what is a platform? This AC/DC automotive car data collector. Yes, of course, it's combining the car with the back end. What we are using is yes, also it's called SmackStack technologies. Of course, Kafka and the Kafka platform itself is one of the key features to be able to handle all the streaming data that are coming in. Nia mentioned already we use the MQTT protocol for doing that. It's built for exactly that. So we see the car as part of the Internet of Things. It's an IoT approach. That is one of the perspectives. So in that approach, we see, okay, it's just like a device, and we have to connect those devices to the rest of the world. The rest of the world, well, we see it here with the Cassandra as storage, Kafka and Spark as analyzing, let's say, library and tooling. From beginning on, we thought we are on a global scale, and of course we have to be able to react very fast and very quickly. As I said, then we really built on a fully cloud-based approach for that, which gives us, of course, the challenge to integrate to the rest of our world. Of course, Audi and Volkswagen Group is not a full cloud-based company. We exist since 100 years. Of course, it's not the case. So we also have to use. Is it possible? To get into integration of the backend. We already exist. There are different platforms, of course, evolving. We are concentrating with our platform on the car data, which are generated with the cars. Of course, we have platforms that are focusing on data that is generated by you as a customer on a website, on an app, when you're talking to your dealer, when you're in a workshop, whatever. So there are different sources of information we have to combine in the company. And for that, we also use this Kafka for connecting with things, so that we have this Kafka connection sometimes, and then we really have to get this information from our legacy systems or even third-party systems to combine it with the information we have in the central platform, in the ACDC platform. So that's our approach on doing that. Well, this platform will go live this year, first time. We will go live with our fully electric car in September. Fortunately, allowed to show you the picture today. It will be released soon. So this is nothing in future. So it's real. It's here, and we're going live very, very soon. Yeah, I mentioned our method, Kafka. What do we with Kafka? Of course, it's our message broker, it's our platform for integrating and for handling, and of course for scaling. I guess all of you know more about that Kafka, and of course we are here for much more questions to go deeper in that issue. So, what is then the vision behind this everything? I told you I'm coming here, fast cars in the streaming world, the business approach. What we want to do, we want to give you time back as a customer. So that's our vision, creating a customer experience around our cars. And of course, one of the cars will definitely be autonomous driving cars. And for those, giving you, we call it the 25th hour of a day. Imagine usually on average, you use 50 minutes per hour. 50 minutes you are using a car every day, all around the world. That's one of the average time. So this hour, we want to give you back. We want to give you back with some experience time, where you can do some more, whatever we call it, quality time, productive time, downtime for your family. And for this, we need, of course, an accurate information about that. And because you want to get a very good time in this car. And of course, a car, if it's an autonomous car, should drive very safe. And for that, of course, we also need all this information about the map, about the surrounding, about the conditions, about even the condition of the car itself, to be able to react in some matters, and then give you the ability to use this time for you as you want to do. Maybe if we go back to a downtime for entertainment, that we have whatever, we don't have it now, but it's in imagination, together with Netflix or Spotify, to give you an exact that entertainment what you would like have in that moment. Maybe it's different when you're driving a car, or if you're sitting in your living room. And of course, it depends on how much time do you still have. If it's only 25 minutes, or you have 1.5 hours left, so it could be different to that. And then we can really react in a real-time world. And that's, I guess, our most, let's say, important approach. It's a real-time world. Connecting information in real time, getting all the events that we are able to do, and then we can create custom experience so that we will be able to make money out of our data and out of our experience, imagination we have. So that's our vision behind it, driving our company in the data-driven world, and that means we will give you back experience, and some of them we showed you today. The platform also showed. If you have more questions, come out to our booth, ask the questions. We can give you some more insights, of course. And of course, we accept also application forms because we always need people for doing that. Yeah, so thank you for your attention. I'm glad to be here.